Good morning, sir. I'm Eugene B. Kadoyak. I'm His Criminology 4th year, Black B. I'm here to discuss what is ballistic. Ballistic is the scientific study of the propulsion and motion of projectiles, such as bullets, artillery, shells, rockets, and guided missiles. Also include the study of the destructive action of such projectiles. Ballistic is the science that deals with the motion, behavior, and effects of projectiles, especially bombs, rockets, or the like. The science or art of designing and hurling projectiles so as to achieve and desired performance. A ballistic body is a body which is free to move, behave, and be modified in appearance, contour, or texture by ambient condition, substance, or force as by the pressure of gases in a gun, by rifling in a barrel, by gravity, by temperature, or by air particles. It is a science itself because it includes from systematic knowledge, research, and development, training, experience, and education of those who pioneered in this field. Technically speaking, it refers to the science of firearms identification, which involves the scientific examination of ballistics, exhibits such as fire bullets, fire shells, and firearms, and allied matters used in a crime. Legally speaking, ballistic is the microscopic examination of fire cartridge, cases, and bullets together with the recording and presentation of means of photography of what is revealed by the microscope. Ang trajectory ballistics involve the examination of evidence from firearms that may be happened also in a crime. When a bullet is fired from a gun, the gun leaves microscopic marks of the bullet. On cartridge case, there are marks are like ballistic fingerprints. Ballistic and fingerprints. So the science of the projectiles and firearms is defined or ballistic, and it can be divided into three distinct categories: external, internal, external, and terminal. So ballistic is the forensic science dealing with a firearm and firearm projectiles. Specifically, the field of ballistic is concerned with identifying specific marks of firearm mixed on a bullet, the angle of the trajectory which is a bullet travels after being fired, and the damage a bullet causes when it strike and surface and surface and another ballistics refers to the science of firearms and projectiles in relation to the reconstruction of events leading to a gunshot injury. Aspects such as the geometry of a bullet track and gunshot residue or these are commonly used in the sense of reconstructing events causing the gunshot injury on the biological target. Furthermore, firearms examiners handle the task of linking bullets to the weapons utilize through microscopic analysis and eventually the weapons to individuals firing those bullets. The latter link is done by examining obliterated serial numbers to determine the registered owner of that weapon. For categories of ballistic include internal, transitional, external, and terminal ballistic. Internal ballistic depict that event occurring from the time of the propellant's ignition until it reaches the end of the gun barrel. Transitional ballistics is refers to the intermediate process between internal and external ballistic, when the projectile leaves the muzzle to win the equalization of the pressure behind the projectiles is achieved. External ballistic is the flight of the bullet after it leaves the barrel, while terminal ballistic refers to the particular behavior of the projectile when it meets its target. Every time that a bullet is fired, microscopic marks or commonly termed as ballistic fingerprints are left on the bullet and cartridge case by the gun. When bullets are recovered from a crime scene, the marked disposite of the bullets from the crime scenes can be confirmed to bullet from the result of a test fire. With a suspect gun, this is done to indicate whether the bullets from both settings were fired from the same gun, with the same method of comparison also applying to cartridge cases. Firearm examiners utilize a comparison microscope to compare two specimens side by side through two compound-like microscopes, allowing the examiner to observe the two images in a single field of view from the center eyepiece. The specimen stages were connected by a system called the optical fridge, composing of prism, mirrors, and lens that allows to the observation of both specimens simultaneously. When a firearms examiner compare two bullets, they consider the two categories that the bullets can fall into: class characteristic and individual characteristic. Class characteristic refers to the features that assign an object to a specific source of growth, while individual characteristics are features of an object that with a high degree of certainty can be assigned to a common source. So the class characteristic of bullets can be referred to as the caliber, direction of twice of the rifling, and the number of plants are groups. These features are called class characteristics, as multiple bullets can possess these characteristics that are not unique to an individual bullet, whereas individual characteristics of bullet come from the imperfection and marks as a result of corrosion damage or tools that produce the land and grooves of the bullet. When an evidence bullet from a crime scene and the test bullets fired from a suspect firearm have common class characteristic as well as individual characteristic, the conclusion of the bullet being fired from the suspect firearm can be drawn. Alongside the comparison analysis of bullets, gun sight residue can act as a tool to determine if a bullet had caused the defect on the target, as well as the distance of the shooter to the target, also known as the muzzle to target distance. In addition, a gunshot residual test could indicate if a person had either a firearm or was in close proximity at that time the firearm was fired. The chemicals of the primer mixtures, lead, barium, or antimony metal, and unworked gunpowder fused with a heat settled onto nervous surface, such as the human skin and clothing. The pattern as well as the the pigmentation deposited on the surface indicates proximity of the firearm to the surface. So, based on the observation of morphology and elemental analysis, the method of particles analysis can identify individual gunshots residual particles. Particles analysis can be done by scanning electron microscopy. So, nevertheless, some limitation could compromise the value of gunshot residue as a evidence. One of the limitation being the proneness to remove GSR from a surface. Examiner has stated the gunshot residues are easily removed through the washing of hands or clothes or by simply gentle rubbing of the skin in a pocket. Another limitation is the lack of definitive proof to indicate which individual in close proximity to the weapon had actually fired it, although this is typically seen as an advantage. The multiple numbers of suspects increase the turnaround time to eventually prosecute the offender from eliminating existing suspects. So, ang trajectory ng isang bullet ay tinatawag na trajectory at ang bala ay itinutulak mula sa nakatigil na posisyon. So, sa baril na may kapangyarihan ng gas na pulbura at gumagalaw sa baril, ang baril ay isa sa ballistic habang lumilipad sa hangin ang pagtagos habang sinira ang target. Ito ay nahati sa mga katanggian ng ballistic o ang physics na chemical na teorya na kung saan dahil sa ito ay itinatawag na ballistic ng pag-aaral. So, that's all my discussion, sir. That is my whole idea in what is all about ballistic topics. That's all, sir. Thank you.